As you can see, about as fast as we build it, Erin and the girls are moving in. Can't blame them. We're out in the desert. The wind gets pretty high. They were in a tent, and so they're more or less out of the way during the day. So today, the next thing I'm going to do is start working on the drawers underneath. As you remember, that's a desk, so I need drawers here, storage drawers on this side. So I'm going to start working on those today and go from there. So one thing that's nice when you're working is you got these nice little notepads. Always got scraps laying around and they don't blow away. So the first step is I need to know the width of the opening, and in this particular case it is 23.5. Now I know the drawer slides are going to eat up a 1/2 inch, and so that brings it down to 23, and I want to leave a little bit of a gap. So I got to take all that into account. The faceplate, I'm going to knock it down to 23.25, and that gives me an 1/8 of an inch from side to side. And in this particular case, oops. It's always fun trying to do this one-handed. In this particular case, the height, I believe, is 14 inches. 14. So again, I'm going to leave a 1/4 inch. That gives me an 1/8 of an inch gap, top and bottom. But this is going to be 2 drawers. So I definitely want to leave an 1/8 of an inch gap between the two. But that can be accounted for with when I'll cut the board the right size for this opening, and then I will cut it down. What I want to do in this particular case is, because it's a desk off on this side, I want a shallow drawer and then a deep drawer. Over here, I'm going to make 2 equal size. So the first step is cutting a faceplate for each of these that is 1/4 of an inch short in each direction, and then I can split them into individual faceplates, and then we'll move on to the actual box of the drawer. So this is the drawer fronts laid out. This is waste. I'm going to cut it off of here, and then I cut it in half, and then cut the different size drawers. These are equal. This is obviously shorter and a deeper one. So let me get those cut, and then we'll move on to working on the box, or boxes. I did not cut this cut because the sides, in this case the piece, that waste piece that I cut off, is just about right, but the sides and the back are all going to be the same width as these drawers. So the easiest way to do this is going to be to cut them to length and run them through the table saw so they're all exactly the same. So now I got to figure out the depth. The opening is 30 inches deep, and I want to leave a little bit of room in the back. I don't need to go 30 inches. I'm going to go 28. So with this being 3/4 of an inch, I want to go 27.25 long. So I need 2 pieces for each one that are the same same width and 27¼ inches long. So let's see what I can get out of that one. So we got these two drawers and the desk side with the narrow one. When I cut the sides out, I'm going to end up with a lot of pieces this big, which just happens to be the right size for the narrow drawer. Now, these are the fronts and the sides of the box. We need a back. Now, keeping in mind that we're going to use drawer slides like these, or actually these and some other ones, and that they are together an inch. So I need to leave space on either side for the drawer slides. So we got to take an inch. So this is going to be 22¼ and this is going to be 21⅛ for the pieces that go across the back. So let me cut a couple of boards that size, and then we can go over to the table saw and start making little ones out of the big ones. I've got them all cut for the 4 drawers under the Murphy bed and the desk, and the next step is going to be cutting out the groove to put the bottom of the drawers in. But I want to cut all the pieces for the drawers on the other bed so that I only have to set up cutting that groove once. So let me measure in there, and I'm just going to do this all over again for the other bed. Well, end of day 1, all the ones for around the desk, all the drawers, and drawers for underneath the other one, the other bed. So all the sides are cut. The next is going to be cutting out dados and the bottom to put them all together. So that'll be fun. We'll get to that tomorrow. Well, now that I have all of the drawer sides and backs and everything cut, I need to put a groove in, or a dado, to accept the bottom. I'm using a 1/4 inch plywood for the bottom. So I'm going to come up in a 1/4 inch and then a 1/4 inch wide trench, if you will. And so in order to do that, because I don't have a dado blade, which is designed to do just that, what I'm doing is 1/4 inch on this particular piece of plywood, which is 7 ply. If I come up to the second big come from this side, the second one in, you got the good surface, and then 2, that's a 1/4 inch deep. So by making that mark and knowing that, I can adjust the saw blade to just the right height. And then we've got to bring it in, or bring the fence in over here. Like I said, bring the fence in so it's a 1/4 inch, and then I can run it down through. I'm going to always have a piece of scrap to try it all out on first before I get to those pieces, and we'll go from there. Well, excuse the noise, but let's give it a try. depth is good. Just a little hint, it's really hard to measure anything less than 3/4 of an inch because of with a tape measure. But if you take and come out to any inch mark and put it on the edge, then you can get an accurate measurement of the depth or the length or whatever. This is great for doing long, but anything less than 3/4 of an inch and it just gets in the way. That was good. That'll be one side. And so now I've got to run all of those through to get it. Now, we've cut this groove here. We want to cut it that little, close to 1/4 inch in that direction. And because this is set up for this, if I had a small piece, then I could just move the fence, put the small piece in here, and that's going to move the fence over the thickness of the plywood. I don't have a small piece, so I got to go a little bit trickier. I did make a mark at where the 1/4 inch would be, and I'm going to try to get it as close as we can to that mark. I made that second cut, and I'm just going to take my knife and break out a little piece here. And let's go over and see how that fits. And we try that out on here, and that is a pretty tight fit. It's a little loose, but just a hair. So I'm going to try, actually I don't think I want to mess with it. I think that's going to be tight enough because when we cut the bottoms, it's going to fit in that groove all the way around. So I can cut this rest away and then do all of the rest of them. Now it's time to put these drawers together, and when I did this, when I did the dado for the base, it left a little bit of a ridge. We're just going to clean it up with a chisel just to make sure there's nothing in there that's going to get in our way. Sometimes they come right out, sometimes they argue with you. These are the 5 pieces, front, back, sides, bottom, and I marked, put little marks here where these are going to butt up against. Just can slide this in. This will give the drawer the nice square shape. Then I put the back on, and I don't glue the back. In case this ever breaks, the back will be able to be taken off and slide it out, put it in. I don't glue the base in, some people do. But you don't really need to if everything's got nice and tight, and again, you can replace the bottom if needed. Go. There's one of the drawers, front of the bed. So I think this one's the desk drawer.